Sorry. You need the light or anything?
That was on the...
Screen? Nah. It's a game called Carrion that looks a lot like an Alien game that I've seen on the App Store. Hindsight, but me find... There it is. Test the box in there. Alright, we'll quit there for now, and we'll keep digging down some more. That's right, we're gonna finish connecting this. I keep feeling like we already did this part. And Sirius had a lovely video, and I would like to try something like that, but before that, I really need to find either, I don't know, some form of therapy, some form of self-mastery. I just find that when I start to get into an argument, I lose, well, not argument so much. He was at the No Kings rally, and he was talking to one of the anti-protesters, which just give the anti-protester this much, being one little red MAGA hat and an army of fucking frogs and the like. He called them a cult. Well, he called us, I suppose. He called the No Kings folks a cult, which is hilarious to me. Especially considering, you know, he's carrying a flag for a president. Not the American flag like several of his air-quote cultists that he was there to rally against. But, you know, a flag for his president. Either way, though. The point is, Cyrus didn't get through to him, but did get a good video made talking to him and trying to find middle ground, and I would like to try to do something like that. I just still have a long way to go to work on my communication skills before I try something like that. Because I feel like if I tried it with my current skill set, it would end catastrophically, but hilariously. Outside of that, most of the videos I've been watching have been dedicated to like video game stuff, mostly horror games, because quite frankly, I genuinely, I like horror games where you spend the first half of the game running or defending or barricading, and then most of the rest of the game fighting off like hordes of undead, something like that. I like those kinds of like endurance games. I'm not really into the you're a little kid in a nightmare world, or the one hit from these nightmarish enemies destroys you in some horrifically grotesque way. Not my bag, but I find some of their thoughts or some of their things to be interesting to look at as like experiments to look into. That's why I love seeing people that actually do cover the ones. The ones I've been watching like a lot of lately, well, today, were the No I'm Not Human game, made by a Russian studio, apparently fairly recent to come out, and it's sort of, whether it means to or not, plays a lot into thoughts and fears of like end of the world, prejudice in between people, government takeovers, just, you know. I feel like the scariest part of that game is where it's coming from right now. Where they're literally involved in an unjust war, and Putin's strategy is and has been, hey, how many people can I throw into this meat grinder? I mean, Ukraine isn't even fighting them with people so much as, well, I guess people using drones, but still, it's, with a good drone and a good drone pilot, you can take and do a lot of damage. I'm not like saying anything negatively about the Ukrainian front whatsoever. They're defending their home. I'll never argue against somebody defending their homeland. But like I said, it's just interesting to see a studio come out with a game like that in a time like this. Unless I'm just wrong and the video's like it's an older game. Because there's also that possibility. There's always the culture lag that comes between two cultures that have like frayed or issued trade relations with each other. Like I said, y'all, I don't know. I'm no goddamn expert. I'm slowly reading more and getting a bit better at things. Which is what I was going to talk about some more here in our chill stream. It was a chill little comic I read at the library, and I swear it looks like it was self-published, but it's really cute. I posted a picture of it and like a spoiler-free review on Facebook if you want to check that out. It's Travis Croy. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, y'all. It's got the picture of me that always pops up on the live stream. But yeah, it was a comic book. It looks like it was self-funded, but there's a lot of love in it. And it's called The Long Night, I believe, or The Night That Never Ends. I'm not going to do it this justice. Give me just 1 minute to slap this slab in place. Hopefully without dying. Yay. And now, give me just a second, because I got to turn on the light, which kills the screen. If you're going to type anything, go ahead and type it, but I won't see it for like 5 minutes. In order to give the Eleanor Davis The Hard Tomorrow. Eleanor Davis, The Hard Tomorrow. It's a very good book set in the early, I want to say early 2000s, but I still don't, like, without reading the Intraford and all that, I don't know if it's I feel like it's based on real events, but also some things have been changed to protect people, blah, blah, blah. And it's really one of those slice-of-life sort of stories. It's about a young contractor man who's like a side character for this one, because Eleanor is the main character in it. Ooh, this is why we creep where we go. But, that's what we were doing. We focus on Eleanor, who in the beginning of it is having sex with her hippie man in a van and or truck. I want to say van. But it's given a lot of, okay, well, what are we getting into? Is this an unhoused couple? Is this, it's called Belong to damn it, I already forgot. It's a very forgettable title, but it's a very good little story. I guess you could call it a very forgettable little story, too, because to Eleanor, it was a very pivotal point. It reminded me and made me think back to a very hard time in my life when I lost my father. But it's also a quiet book. It's not like Basket Full of Heads, which, by the way, if you get the chance to read that one, I just donated it to the Bartow County Library, so give them a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. I'm not sure how fast their intake's going with everything going on, but give them a little bit to get the book processed. They just got to check it for dirty pictures, figure out where they're going to put it. Possibly they'll have to put some kind of protector on the pages because it is a comic book, but it's one of those thick book styles. Either way, once they get the processing done, it'll probably be at Cartersville main branch. It might get somewhere else. The important thing is it's been added to the repository, and if you get the chance, check it out. It's called Basket Full of Heads. It's by DC. It's a good little Halloween treat, to be honest with you. I picked it up at Ollie's, so it was super cheap. Like, page price is like $15, $20. Actual price is like $3, so it's one of those unbelievably good deals, so I couldn't help it. When I was done reading it, I passed it to the library. My only regret is, dang it, Travis, you terrible fucking streamer, you didn't god dang write it down before you did it. I can't tell you who it is. It's a one-off style, sort of. It does not take place in Gotham. It takes place in 1970s style, like beachfront Maryland, I want to say. But either way, it's not really tied to any heroes. It's got a Viking axe, and it's a very good spooky Halloween style crime thriller with a decent twist at the end, to be quite honest. But check it out sometime. It's definitely at your local library if you're in Georgia. Definitely more of an adult rating on that one, though unlike Eleanor's book, it has no nudity to speak of in it. Unlike Eleanor's book, way more insinuation of forcing women against their will. And again, a hard warning on Basket Full of Heads. I don't know why I need to warn you on that one. It's got a lot of violence and an impromptu suicide in it. So it's like, But if you're in the mood for a nice Halloween-style crime whodunit, check out Basket Full of Heads. It opens up with a young girl sitting on a bridge, and a person picks her up and says, "Why, dear, it's raining. You're going to catch your death out there." And she says, "Oh, I know you so-and-so. Give me just a minute. What you got there, dear?" And she throws the title into the river. And it is literally the title. You see her push the basket in one panel, then the next panel, it's red page with the big bold text, Basket Full of Heads. And then it cuts to her on the same bridge several months earlier. But it basically covers the life of, I want to say Cindy. Probably wasn't Cindy, it was probably something else. But she's in this quiet little town, about to end their summer vacation, her and her boyfriend. And a hell of a bad monsoon comes rolling in. As that monsoon comes rolling in, a report comes over the kid sheriff's thing, where he's mostly been just watching the waves, playing lifeguard. It's more of an internship than him actually being a sheriff on duty. It's just to see, you know, how they do with them rich college kids. They bring them back home, let them have a run at the route without much say, and let the sheriff just watch over them. Well, he's been doing his part and saving up to get his best gal a ring, maybe. But most of all, he just deeply loves Cindy, and he really wants to show her how he cares. As they're sitting there talking and flirting, a warning comes over the radio that 6 dangerous convicts have escaped. The girl gets scared, and the comic starts on a go. That's as far as I'm going to go into it, because honestly, any further, and I'm going to start spoiling stuff for you, it is one of those comics that is very over the top. I guess one other thing. The reason that it's called Basket of Heads and a Fun Twist. The sheriff and the person the boy kid sheriff is staying with has a big Viking collection. I mean, look, y'all, not to spoil nothing, I didn't see it directly in the book, but I kind of get the feeling the sheriff's one of those, you know, sheriffs you wouldn't want around your Jewish population. Sheriffs that you really gotta watch in this administration. I get the feeling the sheriff's not a good sheriff. Spoiler alert on that end. But he has a Viking medieval weapons collection. And in this collection, the girl finds an axe. The axe does not kill people. It stops them, but it does not kill them. Are you picking up where I'm putting down with the title, A Basket Full of Heads? Basically, the criminals assault the house where they're at. They take the boyfriend while the girl's hidden. I'm not ruining anything for you. This is like the first 5 minutes of the comic. But the boyfriend busts into the house, or boyfriend gets taken. 4 or 5 out of 6 take him. One's left behind to find the girl because they knew there was a girl there. He says some really creepy, like, uh-oh shit. And then she manages to get the jump on him with the axe, and pop goes the weasel. So, when she pops off the head, the man continues to talk, being like, I don't feel so good, miss. I think I want my mama. Why did this happen? What did I... Miss, we weren't that bad, miss. And then goes back into creepy shit. But the thing about the axe and the trick to the axe is it doesn't kill people. It does render them wherever you left them. He's not in pain, but the head itself does feel pain. If you follow along with the other victims, not going to ruin anything there, but if you follow along with the rest of the story, they can feel pain, and for some reason, as the one former convict, or I guess former convict is accurate, he's now just a corpse, but how the one severhead puts it, I don't know why I gotta breathe, it just feels like I gotta dang breathe. I've always breathed, even if I don't want to think about this no more, miss. It's giving very much if you ever got the chance to see the Santa Carla diet on Netflix. Honestly, I hate that scabby bitch Drew Barrymore for scabbing, but god damn it, she's still America's sweetheart. Drew, I still love you, even if I fucking hate what you stand for sometimes. I blame the parasocial relationships and the fact that I was raised on movies. But still. Santa Carla Diet's another really, really good miniseries if you get the chance. Is this how I do it, y'all? Is this how I chill with y'all? I'm trying to make it not political at all for this stream. I was going to upload a video, but didn't like how it looked, and honestly, if Little Scully pulls through alright, then we'll upload the video later, because it'll be a fun, oh, look how little you were. If she doesn't pull through, I don't want to upload that video. She's okay, I've talked about and shown pictures how feisty one of our sweet wildcats had kittens, and how we've been taking care of them and raising them. Well, she's got 3. And 2 of them are doing really good, Jatzia and Ginger. And then there's Scully, who's the runt, and she's a sweetheart, and she cries a lot, but I always run to her, keep her warm. We get her some milk, or some catsup is what we've got right now. Her mama's, Feisty's doing what she can to take care of her too, y'all. This might just be a I hate nature sometimes for her cruelty situation. But we're doing what we can. And she is, she's doing good for how old she is, because they ain't but a couple weeks. But still, when I was recording a little video to be like, hey y'all, this is why I ain't gotten very much uploaded, to be like, look how cute she is. She cried out, I got her food. When I was watching the video again on review, I was like, honestly, I love little Scully. She's got the most beautiful little white pattern around her face that when she was first born was almost a pure white, looked like a skull. But now that she's starting to grow her hair out, she's still going to be cute. It's just not going to look as skull-like, you know? And so I named her from that, and I hated naming her that when I thought about it, because every cat I've ever named, well, I have had Sethis, I have had Lady Darkness, I have had Nightshade. These are just cats that I loved very much, and when they were born, they were beautiful with either little poison markings, little death markings, cute things. But they were the runts, and unfortunately, they didn't survive into adulthood. Failure to thrive is, I believe, what the vets call it. And that's not through any failure of mine nor of the parents. Sometimes y'all cats just... It's why I always say get your pets fixed if you can. As soon as I can afford it, all the girls are getting fixed. We've been working on it as we can, but you know, it's difficult sometimes on a budget. And most of the time, none of our cats were like, "Ooh, I want that one, Daddy." Most of our animals were, "Hey, bud, you look worse for wear. You need a place to chill for a bit." And then we gave them food, we took care of them, we loved them, and they're ours now. We still take care of our animals best we can, get them vaccinated, all that, you know. But I have been working on my crocheting. I still got a y'all, when I say I got a long way to go, I was gonna upload the picture. I'm gonna save it till I get better at needlepoint and cross stitch, because y'all, it's shameful. No. It's pretty. It'll be pretty when I'm done with it, but for now it just looks like, oh, your pants ripped, and so you decided to just, you know, go crazy. Okay. When I upload the pictures of before and after and go in there, y'all see what I mean by that. The end product will be a fun, fuzzy rainbow with possibly some flower or floral stitching around it. Right now, I'm not uploading that picture yet because I still have some degree of dignity left. Ooh, I think we found the edge to this entire map area, y'all. Okay. See, I half listen to the videos going in the background, and carrying sounds like a fun game. But I just, like I said, y'all, my thing with horror games is there's a difference between scary and sad. Like, I really want to, if I can get it on here, maybe on the laptop eventually if it's a free game and I get the laptop running better for that end. But it's, oh god, I want to call it Let the Right One In, and that one isn't it. You're Not My Neighbor. They got a whole fan base song about it. I dug the song and I just thought, screw it, I want to check it out. The Living Tombstone, I believe, did the fan song of You're Not My Neighbor. But from what I've picked up from that, a alien thing, whatever, hits down, not so humans show up, you act as a doorman. Honestly, fuck it, I might try Five Nights at Freddy's at some point too, y'all. Does it make sense that I don't want to be a kids channel? I want to be a channel safe for kids, but y'all, you should not be leaving your kids with me in the background, you know? I want to be a fun creator, and I want to be safe, but this is why I don't do Roblox. This is why I don't do... If it's a directly kids game, I might do a review video of it, but unless I can latch on to something like, oh, this has cats in it, oh, this is D&D based, unless I can put a brand of mine on it, so to speak, I don't want to play it if it's like Cat Quest. I played a minute of Cat Quest and then I realized it's purely a kid's game. I checked out Little Big Planet. I enjoyed Little Big Planet. But if it's a 100% kids game, I mean, I might go back and beat Little Big Planet just because I remember when that one came out. Let's just say tiny little baby Travis working at Walmart bought a copy of Little Big Planet to play way back in the day. similar to Minecraft. It's one of those I'll play it because I know it and it's fun to see where it's gone. But as far as like picking up a new game that's targeted at kids, not really my bag, you know? And that's not to knock anyone that does it in good faith. If you're genuinely playing some of these games, be like, hey y'all, this one's fun. Or, hey y'all, maybe not for kids on this one. If you're genuinely doing that, more power to you. I genuinely appreciate what you do for the parents out there. Because, let's all face it, the EPA, not EPA, the ESRB rating system's cracked and stupid. I mean, y'all, they gave Leisure Suit Larry... Let me get my tongue in place that one. They gave Leisure Suit Larry a full-on adult rating, and yet things like Torment are just rated mature. For reference, Leisure Suit Larry is a game that's very mini-game Newgrounds based, where you play as a college guy in the very American Pie era, so you're trying to get with women, guys. That's the whole game. But it's not really like... When you call a game an adult game, admittedly it might just be my broken America brain, but my first thought is, oh, this is one of those games. Like, most adult games that I see are like harem games for a reason, you know? But Leisure Suit Larry's much more just stupid carnival games, but for 12-year-old boys, you know? It's a game that I would put a warning label on because it's stupid and pointless, and it's very... I'm just saying that like I said, y'all, I don't know. I don't have a lot of the answers. But when it comes to shit like Leisure Suit Larry and some of the games out there, I don't have a problem with many games, just because I don't like I don't like the idea of games making women conquests. Does that make sense? Because women are people, and quite frankly, we're still combating ages of misogyny that just... If we were further ahead than we are right now, then yeah, I wouldn't have a fucking problem at all with Leisure Suit Larry. My problem is a lot of the games that they put adult ratings on, I just don't feel should exist. And then games that really should have, like, adult ratings, like, you know, Dante's Inferno is a good example. I don't know how that one just got a mature rating. There is literally a place when you're in the lust section of hell where a woman throws babies at you. Like, baby weapons, baby-based weapons. And they're demon babies. Because if you follow the canon of Dante's Inferno, all unbaptized children go there. This game only got an adult rating. Leisure Suit Larry, which had a weird little biker game quest where you play as a sperm trying to impregnate an egg, that one's adult rated. The game where a woman can throw babies at you that come out of her giantess-sized enemy there, that one's just mature. How do we rate these things? I guess I don't know how you would rate this, because in the 90s, video games were literally goddamn insane. But nowadays, it feels like we could do better on rating stuff, you know? Then again, maybe I'm talking out my ass there, because looking at the PlayStation Store and Steam and Xbox Live, and okay, maybe it is still the Wild West as far as what we can get and where we can get it from. In a world where we still kept the main market of physical game stores, we could have a better rating system. We need pants and helmet and pants and boots. Let's do 2 pants. Okay. See, I'd also really love to see them bring up more, like, standardized games based on things. Like, quite honestly, y'all, let's stop bringing back celebrities that just can't come back. No offense to those celebrities. Like, y'all, they've been talking about renewing Supernatural again and again and again. I don't want to see Sam and Dean the geriatric years, you know? Nothing against the show. What I would be into, and what I think a lot of the fan base would really dig the shit out of, what if we did a video game where Sam and Dean, the characters of course, you don't play as them, but you like play as different hunters. They could do a mobile app where you play as various hunters, and then they could have like a main game where you play as the titular duo. I mean, y'all, video games give us new mediums for our media, new ways to consume, and I feel like as a society we could be doing a lot better, but I also like talk with some degree of caution because I'm not a freaking coder, and it feels like a lot of our favorite games are written on the souls of the damn coders. Because, I mean, yeah, the dude who created Minecraft, not knocking him, fun game, can't knock something I'm enjoying, but, yeah, he sold out a long time ago. Now the new one's moving forward, and time moves on, but I think everyone who had a hand in making it what it is should get fair compensation, you know? Worker shit. Like I said, y'all, I don't know. I'm never going to be a good revolutionary. I'm too lazy for that shit. Best I can do is hope to get somebody who's less lazy than me to not start the revolution, not put themselves in danger, but just start thinking more. Somebody better than me do better, you know? I realize that's what got us here in the first place, is basically there was an entire generation that just said, fuck it, let's see what happens. And that's why I'm doing, like, I don't know. We're gonna work on things. New video pop. Ah, the brilliant, terrifying machine of something. See, another fun part of me doing the horror genre of listening to the games is it gives me different mechanics to, woo, that was scary. It gives me different mechanics to play with mentally for trying to get D&D sessions. Because, yeah, y'all, like many adults, millennials my age, especially ones that grew up middle class to poor, I really like games of imagination with friends. Mostly because minus getting books and compendiums for it, which you can write yourself if you're good enough, it's expensive, or it's inexpensive if you do it right. But I like doing horror campaigns. I'd also like to do more where, who is the real villain here? Hmm? Oh, Terminus by the same people did Fear and Hunger. Fear and Hunger was a very disturbing game from what I heard. Like I said, it's one of those games that I would love to see somebody do a run-through of. I'm not going to do one unless y'all pay me to. I love the idea of horror. I hate playing horror. Honestly, that'd probably be one for me and fucking Sukun to try out maybe sometime, because he loves a challenge. I don't mind a challenge. I mind a fuck you. It's sort of like, I'll check out Dark Souls. I enjoyed tinkering around with that some. But The Evil Within is a game that I just noped right out of. But I also hate the idea that, you know, so many people, oh, I'm a horror game enthusiast. Oh, what horror games have you played? All of Resident Evil. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's a fun franchise, but that's not really horror in my opinion. It's action. It's action tilted in the side of the foe, but it's action. Horror's things like you're outnumbered, you're outgunned, and you can't really take them on. Or it's a game that makes you think about yourself and deal with the horrors of people, you know? A lot of horror games that I've played aren't very action-based, they're very text-based. Like, You're Not My Neighbor is a fun one that I'm dying to try out sometime. I haven't actually played that one, but I've read a lot about it. I'm real eager to try that one out. Let's see what else I got currently going on. I got a few books that I'm currently flipping through just slowly. One that's been enjoyable, but I'm getting the feeling that I'm gonna hate when the animals start dying off. It's nothing personal. It's probably not gonna get my top review. It's a very cozy book. It's just I got very much. It's gonna start killing. Give me a second. It's somewhere around here. It's 13 Tales Taught to Me Through Animals or something like that. But whereas I thought it was going to be from an actual... I don't know, man. I haven't gotten that far into it. The first thing was she was a very reluctant child who had a big sister that she didn't... Her big sister was the dog. But she grew up on a military base with a military family. And while I relate to her story, it's not exactly like... It's not inspiring me to continue reading, but then again, a lot of good, really good stories and collections start off with a slow burn. And it looks like she befriends a pig, and by the way, this was in the adult nonfiction section, so maybe it'll be about, you know, it was in the zoology section, so maybe it will be a tie-in. I'll give a better review on that one later. I've been reading it to the animals, but they seem to be nil on it. Though I will say Alice enjoys laying in my lap as I read it to them, so... You know, another fun idea, but I don't think any U.S. studio would have the balls to do it, especially not in this political environment. But a video game where you play as a devout follower of a god being, like the Christian god being, and by that I mean the Old Testament biblical god being, and then the rapture actually starts happening, and you have to survive and quarrel with that sort of thing. Because the thing is it would also bring up many awkward things, because, I mean, you'd have to put a lot of Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft style labels of multicultural team. Nobody's meant to be hurt by this. It's all in good fun. But it really comes to like a question of who you are as a person. Because I've often said, as an anti-theist as I am, not to be mean, not to at nobody, but even if I saw God's power, given what I've read about in the book, I wouldn't want to serve that power. I mean, not being mean, not judging nobody, it's just I've read the book. I don't care for his methods. If you have all the power in the world, why destroy the world technically twice, really? But planning on doing it more times. It's why? You know? But this is meant to be a chill stream, so I'm not like getting into that with it. It's just, you know, it'd be fun to do a game where you literally go after the various gods. And my biggest thing would be going after the big bad would be interesting. Which, spoiler alert for Supernatural there, but by the end of the movie, or the show, they do sort of have that argument. I can't remember how they tie that one out, because to be quite honest, by that point I was getting exhausted with Supernatural. It's a good show. Hell, I've got tattoos from the show. I can't say that it's a bad show. It's a good show. It's just a bit of a slog. I gotta say, if you're not familiar with doing the Star Trek or the long slog, it is a very long slog of a show. But like I said, I'm not knocking on Supernatural at all. It's a good show. I just like that they reveal God in the show at some point, because they did a Monster of the Week show for so long they ran out of monsters. Like I said, it's a good show, y'all, if you get the chance. I know a lot of bad people got into it too, and there was that whole Dean Castiel issue that came up with the actor. And, I mean, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I tend not to get, imagine that, I tend not to get too far in the drama on properties that I actually like unless they do something like if I had found out the actor who played Dean was banging 16-year-olds, then yeah, I'd be very much, oh no, fuck that show, no matter how good it is. If I found out, like, you know, I would let it fade away like so many other great classics before it. But I just, you know, I think that the show has its merits. And I think that it's, you know, it's a decent watch if you want to check it out. Also, when it comes to mythology, they did good work, but they also, you know, they had to make it playable. I think at one point, like, Buddha's eating people. Like I said, that show went on for so long, it was a Creature of the Week one that eventually busted into God killing. But never, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's a very, well, not 90s, it's a very 2000-ish fun CW show. And considering it bounced the networks, I'd say it did pretty good for itself. Any show that outlasts its network is a pretty good show. Boys, behave yourselves, both of you. Ronan, Zuko doesn't mean you any harm. Zuko, please back up and give Ronan space. He ain't got no depth for... Shifu, don't get involved. Y'all, I'm gonna unplug this because it's about to get loud and I gotta break up a fight. Give me just a minute and I'll... And that's how we do it. I could have left the thing in. All I had to do was get up, start walking towards him, and just... Zuko decided to bail and go in a different direction. Ronan wanted to chase him for a second, and I gently pinned Ronan to the wall with the rock on symbol, pinning him between two fingers. Here's the thing about cats, y'all. They're sort of like people with ADHD in the sense of they gotta... Now, that's not to say they don't remember things. They remember a lot of things better than humans. But as far as, like, if a cat's misbehaving, breaks the behavior for about 5 seconds. Give them something else that they want to do instead. They are very trainable. In the case of my boys, if Ronan gets surprised and gets to flaring up at his brother, well, cousin, I guess. If he gets to flaring up, what I'll basically do is I'll break him up. Then if he goes to pursue, I stop the pursuit, and that's as far as it goes, because now he's just chilling up there, cleaning himself, debating on whether he wants to go down the cat tree or just keep chilling up on the cabinet. He ain't even worried about Zuko no more. Ah, crap. Crap! I did not mean to make another frickin' toolbox. We'll need it eventually. Screw it, we'll put it down here somewhere. Maybe not here. There we go. Alright. I do appreciate all the party invites. I am sorry I'm such a terrible friend. Okay, I don't know if this dude is reading a script or if he's reading what's actually on the screen, but he knows how to read the shit. I like his stuff. I like what he's saying. This is not Saber. I hope he hasn't done anything unspeakable, but I'm gonna give him a thumbs up and like the video. It's a good video to do shit too. I'm really liking the open floor plan. And my little dudes can just work. It's kind of like having an ant mound. Or a little ant colony. It'll be so much cooler once I actually get the roof done, too. I think we'll leave this torch here just as a marker of what was once here. That tells me we ain't gonna be going outside for a minute at least. Oh, it's also nighttime and storming. That's a good combination. Alright, that's a start there. A few more of those. Mm.
Like a man reading the script he helped write. The Yellow Pages conversations with his beheaded masters reveal fragments of greater purpose. Hints that the festival is more than just a divine sport, that Logic's birth might mean more than either its creators suspect.
Alrighty, we're about ready to drop this by one more step. Maybe. Need to make some more steps, I think, too. fuck up.
Father was adopted his unconventional healing methods, masked the manifestation of the old gods. He took Don as an apprentice, offering modern medical knowledge in exchange for Don's understanding of Sylvia, the goddess of healing. This exchange seemed innocent enough at first, a marriage of modern medicine and ancient wisdom, yet it marked the beginning of an ascent into darkness that would consume the entire family. Don's relationship with his wife Elise offered temporary refuge from the Baron's growing religious fervor. Their love story played out against the backdrop of the Second Great War, a pocket of warmth in cold times. Yet even this happiness proved fleeting. When Don returned home one day, he found a Mondoswana overtaken by bigot. It behaved like a grotesque ritual to the sulfur god, and claimed both his wife and father. In subsequent attempts at resurrections, sacrificing his left eye in a desperate ritual, marked him as a man willing to dabble in the very forces that destroyed his family. This tragic irony follows him to evil, where the past he fled now wears new horrific faces. The first sign comes in his encounter with needles, the permanently grinning torturer who haunts the underground tunnels. Despite the clown-like appearance, something in Needle's manner strikes Don as horrifying and familiar. The way he moves, his understanding of anatomy, his methodical approach to inflicting pain, all echo the Baron's surgical precision. When their eyes meet in combat, there's a moment of recognition that chills Don to his core. His father-in-law's medical brilliance has been twisted into something monstrous. He retains enough of his original character to be recognizable. Even more disturbing, however, is his encounter with Stitches in Tunnel 1. The woman with a sewn-shut mouth and self-inflicted wound bears an impossible resemblance to Elise. Her presence there, working alongside the creature that might once have been her father, suggests a perversion of family bonds that cuts deeper than mere physical horror. The infamous violence of her sewn wound seems to mock Don's failed attempt to stitch his family back together through resurrection. But perhaps the most insidious threat to Don comes from Pocket Cat, the ancient servant of Rare who takes a special interest in him throughout the festival. Their encounters carry a weight of inevitability, as if Pocket Cat recognizes something in Don that marks him as a suitable vessel. The entity's playful manner and formal speech provides a grotesque mirror to the aristocratic life Don once lived with the Bonfudge family. Every interaction suggests that Don's past suffering has groomed him for a particular kind of transformation. The psychological pressure builds as Don navigates from evil. Every medical procedure he performs recalls lessons learned from the Baron. Every wound he treats reminds him of his failure to save Elise. The very act of helping others becomes colored by the knowledge that his mental healing knowledge was perverted into torture. His wife's love twisted into self-mutilation.
Okay, that's it. What the hell?
His transformation into a new incarnation of Pocket Cat represents a cruel culmination of his journey. His suffering, his medical knowledge, his aristocratic manners all become perfect components that his ancient entity knew its form. Even his past trauma serves a purpose, having hollowed him out just enough to make room for something else to move in. What makes Don's story particularly haunting is how it suggests that some fates are shaped long before we recognize their approach. His apprenticeship under the Baron, his marriage to Elise, his dabbling in resurrection, each step led him closer to evil and its horrors. Even his attempts to flee his past only brought him closer to its transformed versions. At the heart of Termina's cosmic heart lies an intimately human story, a sister searching for her twin. Olivia's journey to evil isn't just another contestant's tale. It's a desperate attempt to uncover what happened to Relia, whose disappearance hints at something far more sinister than mere imprisonment. The sister's story begins in their oppressively religious household. Born at midnight at the cusp of the month, they received different birth signs. Olivia's soul was shadowed, while Relia's was radiated. This duality would come to define their relationships and futures. Whilst both excelled academically, they pursued a radically different paths. Olivia immersed herself in botany and natural sciences, while Relia drove into engineering and New Age psychology. The divergence deepened after Olivia's health crisis. When she experienced several strokes of mid-deep, their parents sought help from religious healers rather than
We're gonna make some bricks for now. Top off the roof as best we can.
But by then it was too late to prevent Olivia's dependence on a wheelchair. This experience shaped both sisters profoundly. Olivia developed a complicated relationship with disability and faith, while Relia became driven to push the boundaries of science, perhaps partly motivated by her inability to help her sister in time. The sisters remain close even as their paths diverge further. Both enrolled at the same University of Bremen, finally free from their parents' religious control.
Probably should make some torture fallouts down there.
Relia's brilliant mind earned her a place in Operation Geist, and later an exchange program between the Bremen Empire and the Eastern Union. Her letters to Olivia spoke of groundbreaking work and exciting discoveries. Then, the letters stopped. The official story was that Relia had been arrested for treason, imprisoned in East Bremen State Prison, but even after her reported escape with help from the Native Liberty Underground, the truth remained elusive. Her final letter to Olivia contained cryptic references to a Q and warnings about the Kaiser's interest in the operation in Krakow. Throughout the game, Olivia's search for answers leads her deeper into her evil's mysteries. The city itself seems to hold echoes of Relia, in the advanced technology hidden beneath the streets, in the whispers of secret projects, in the strange dreams that plague the contestants. Each clue suggests that Relia's existence is tied to something far larger than political intrigue. There's a tragic irony in how the sisters' path continues to mirror a divergently evil. While Olivia fights to maintain its humanity amid the festival's horrors, evidence suggests Rela pursues a different kind of transcendence through technology. Their parallel journeys through the city reflect their lifelong values, two sisters taking different approaches to overcome human limitations. The relationship between the sisters adds deeper resonance to many of Evo's locations. The underground bunkers filled with mysterious technology feel more honest when viewed through Olivia's eyes. Could her sister have worked here? The Church of Rula's oppressive architecture recalls their childhood religious trauma. Even the moonlit streets echo with the absence of someone who should be there. Down in the tunnels beneath the city, the true purpose of what evil begins to reveal itself. The tele-electric scopes hub with impossible energy, each one drawing power not just from electricity, but from something older, something that tastes like the green tea without watch either. Those who understand their purpose, perhaps Osa with his occult knowledge, or Abella with her mechanical insight, begin to grasp the terrifying scope of Project Logic. The night brings out for evil's most twisted children. Needle stalks the corridors of power. His surgical precision nudged him to torture. Stitches haunts the underground, his stone-shut mouth holding screams that echo through the tunnels. They serve something older than the festival, older perhaps than the city itself. The sulfur god's influence seeping through reality's cracks. It's during these dark hours, the depths of Hercules' deception begins to surface. The servant of the moon god is no servant at all, but a cultist playing along the game. The festival itself becomes clearer.
That seems to be a good enough place to end it. Y'all have a good evening, and we will see y'all later. Really appreciate y'all coming out. Y'all be good.